To another episode of Asexualise, My Asexual Life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you like this video as we go along, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. So I get some asexuals come to me. Hello, Michael. Lovely to see you. I haven't seen you much this year. Happy New Year. Lovely to see you. So one of the questions I get asked in personal message, and also I see a lot in forums, is basically there are no asexuals in my city. What can I do? And they basically feel like they're doomed. It's the end. You know, there's no one to actually be friends with, and in terms of dating, there's no one to date. So, you know, what can they do? Particularly this question crops up a lot with dating more than anything. So it comes up on asexuality.com, which is a dating website for asexuals, in case you didn't know, but there are aromantic asexuals. I've been busy, so I couldn't join your streams. Oh, bless you, Michael. Yeah, I'm really busy too at the moment, so I do understand. I haven't been on Facebook much this week, to be honest, and I'm usually on there a lot, so I've just got so much stuff I need to catch up on, so I do understand. New Year's resolutions and all that, get off to a good start, and this is kind of what this video is about, really, is what can you do? You know, it's 2019 now. People are complaining that there's no asexuals in their city. They feel they're doomed. They're like, if I want to date, I know, Michael, you're not into dating because you're an aromantic asexual, you know, someone doesn't experience romantic attraction, but some aromantics, they do, like I said, some do want a partner and some just want to make friends, you know, there's no one in their city. So they say, you know, they feel like they're doomed, there's no hope, you know, and they just like think they should give up, right? And people really want to hear me say, oh, don't worry, everything's going to be all right, it's all going to be fine. But I'm not going to say that to you. Like, if you are looking for a relationship right now and there's no asexuals in your city, your town, the countryside, you know, where you live, what options do you actually have, right? You can make friends or have a relationship online, okay? Usually that's not, particularly if it's a relationship, most people do not want an online relationship for absolutely ever, okay? So you have to work out whether you are a mover or someone who doesn't want to move, right? If you don't want to move and you are staying put, you either have to travel to meet someone or you have to get someone to travel to you. That's it. You know, there's no point in sitting there waiting for something new to come into your life, because in life, either something new comes into your life or you have to do something new yourself. And if you are stuck in the same situation, like say all last year, you didn't have any asexual people in your city, your town, the countryside, basically where you live, right? And you're in the same position a year later. Do you really think that something bright star's going to land on your head and say, hey, all of a sudden there's all these asexuals there? If you're looking to date and have a relationship in particular, just because there's asexuals that might show up in your city, town, or countryside, doesn't mean to say they're right for you. You know, I have a guy who I'm friends with in my city. He's asexual, but we're very, very different to each other. We couldn't be in a romantic relationship together, and we don't have that much in common to be a really closely bonded friendship, but we are very, you know, we very much respect each other and see each other occasionally, and he comes to a lot of my meets. I have another new asexual guy friend, right, last year who couldn't come to the meet up in the end, right? He lives in my city. He's way too old for me. I like younger guys, you know, but he seems like a nice guy, but I haven't met up with him yet. He wants to meet me on my own. I know that, you know, not just in a group setting. So, but I said I'll have to Skype first. You know my golden rule. I will always Skype someone. And that's what I need to tell you as well. If, you know, you are making the decision that, you know, you either have to find a mover or travel, or both, you know, if you are going to travel to meet someone, make sure that you Skype them first, because they could be anyone if they're off the internet. You know, you don't know who the heck you're going to come up against, you know, or with. You know, even though this guy lives in my city, I've told him I'm still Skyping him. That is he's fine with that because he doesn't mind Skyping anyway. But, you know, that's it. If a person doesn't like that, then it's tough. Because that's my rule, you know, and we live in the modern day world where pretty much anyone, even people of 80 years old, can Skype, you know. It's ridiculous to think that someone can't do it. In with Facebook Messenger, you can video chat in there. It doesn't have to be Skype. I mean, you know, you have to video chat with them. But in order to move your life forward, you have to make a change. You can't sit there forever and a day going, there's no asexuals in my city. There's no asexuals in my city. Yes, so you'll still be there in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time saying the same thing. You have to shift your butt, you know? If a person can't come to you, you have to go to them. You have to decide. Like, I'm a non-mover, right? In my life, I either have to travel or find a mover. You know, if in like 20 years' time, I'm still single and I really want to find that person, you know, and hi, Martin, nice to see you. And, you know, if say in 20 years' time I'm still single and I do want to find a partner and I have the finances and everything, you know, I love where I live. So being where I live and living on my own is more important to me at the moment. It's far more important that I stay where I am because I'm really happy here. But, you know, it doesn't mean to say that I can't change in the future if I want to. You know, like in 20 years' time, if I'm still single, I could, you know, and finding a partner is like the ultimate most important thing in my life. If I wanted to move, you know, then there's nothing stopping me. But at the end of the day, I don't want to move because I'm so very happy here. I love my home. It's so beautiful. It's the nicest place I've ever lived in my life. And it suits me really well. It suits my writing and everything really well. But at the end of the day, you know, everyone can change. Everyone can be adaptable, even if they don't think they are right now. You know, you have to change. I have to change this year. I'm going to be changing this year. I'm already trying to change myself this year. Not in the sense of moving because I'm happy where I am, but in the sense I'm focused on my career and finances this year, you know? But, you know, you have to do whatever it takes. If you want to meet asexuals and you're not getting anyone near you, don't wait for things to fall on your head and land in your lap. You have to be proactive, not reactive. Meaning you have to go out and find these people. You have to be prepared to travel. Yes, it might be scary if you're not used to travelling. If you're like, oh my goodness me, you know, I don't normally go on trains. I don't normally go on buses. But you have to, in order to develop and grow yourself in life, you can't stay stagnant. You have to push yourself through your fears to change yourself. You know, otherwise you stay in the same rut constantly, the same situation over and over and over again. You know, the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result. You have to change what you're doing, you know. All right, you know, if it's been a year, especially, you know, I know that I need to find a person who'll move or be willing to commute. But even if I commute, you know, I won't want to do that forever and a day. If the person, so I would be willing to commute to London, say, for a relationship because I absolutely love London. At the moment, I haven't got the finances to do that. So that's why I need to sort my career and finances out first. But I love London. It's like my second home, as I call it. There's lots of business opportunities there. And, you know, I would travel to London. London's actually much more affordable than a lot of other places like Manchester and Birmingham and all those other ones. London has lots of cheap deals if you book in advance, though, usually, over a month in advance. So, you know, I'd be prepared to travel to somewhere to find the right person for me, you know, or travel more locally. Like there's places like local cities and towns that I would be prepared to travel to. Because you have to be... you know, you have to be prepared to do something different than you've always done. You know, you can't just sit there stagnant in life going, oh, well, I want something to change. You know, and time and time again that people are saying, oh, there's no people in my city. Well, all right, there's no people in your city. What are you going to do about it? And either the answer's nothing or you're going to shift your butt and do something, isn't it? You have to move or you have to do something. You know, today I received a beautiful message from an asexual guy. He's a younger foreign guy, actually. And I woke up to a message saying, hi, Sandra, I just want to let you know you're gorgeous. Right? And that was really lovely for me to get that message. He said, that's it. Have a nice day. And I just thought that's really beautiful. Like years ago, a couple of years ago, it might be longer than that. You know, this guy might be like 2.5 years ago or more. This guy didn't even like my voice on my videos. And so, you know, people can change. I know he does a lot of personal development work now, so he has changed a lot to what he used to be. But I remember then he used to say about my voice, and I'm like, well, if you don't like my voice, don't watch my videos. No, I'm not changing for someone. I love my voice. You know, I'm not changing my channel for one person who comes and tells me that if they don't like my voice, that's fine. Go to another channel. You know, we were friends on Facebook at the time, we still are. And I said, well, if you want to unfriend me, that's fine. You know, go ahead. You know, I'm not changing for someone, but he seems to have really altered over the years. You know, he's decided to develop himself a lot more. So he was really good. I mean, how things have turned around is when my Asexual Perspectives book came out. It was on an offer. Well, it was I promised that everyone in the book would basically get a free copy of it, and so I did it free for a very short period of time. And he actually gave me, even though he got a copy of the book for free, he actually gave me a donation for the book. So that was really nice of him, you know. So people can change their attitudes and views and the way they do things. And then he took my I've got an SSL book out, because you know I'm a writer of different books as well, not just an asexual book, and it's how to install a SSL certificate on your WordPress website. And he did a review of that course, and for my Quirky Academy site. So that was really nice, and he said he put on Goodreads as well. So, you know, he's really changed his attitude a lot towards me, and I think that's really nice. And to go from like a couple of years ago when he said I'm always to now saying I'm gorgeous, it's completely turned around, you know. And that just proves and shows that people can change if they want to change. Like he's reading loads of the top entrepreneur books. Well, I think he's read them, a lot of them. And he's been working, he was at a TEDx conference. He was actually not a speaker, he was part of the staff as well. So he's really progressed in his life, you know, which just goes to show you that, you know, what you can do and the differences you can change in yourself and your attitude towards things, you know, and towards people. It just goes to show how you can change. And I just want to use that as an example to illustrate to you that if you feel that you're stuck in life and that there's no one around you that understands you, then go out there and find these people. You know, there are thousands of asexuals all around the globe. Yes, we are very split up, you know. I mean, this particular person that said I'm gorgeous, I know that he did say that after he's finished his study, I think he can move wherever he likes. So he was one of the people that put in a group about, you know, there doesn't seem to be any asexual suitable for him where he lives. He's had I think he's had a couple that he's been interested in, and one he was quite in love with, I think, and it didn't work out. And he, you know, he was saying, oh, you know, I'm a bit stuck in that way. I remember him posting in one of the groups. And he's like, and I said about, I think I posted something about, are there any foreign guys who are able, you know, who are movers, basically. And I think he indirectly said that he actually was. And because he said, when I finish my study, I'm planning to leave anyway, my country. And I said, well, if you can move, then the world's your oyster, isn't it? You can pretty much have any asexual you want. I mean, obviously they've got to want him back. It's two-way. But what I meant to say, you know, I think I said this to him. I said, find a particular asexual person you like, that you're interested in, and then you can go and live near them. You know, if you're flexible, if you're a mover, the world's your oyster. Because, you know, so long as you move for the right reasons, you know, because don't forget, even if you move, it might not work out. So don't go moving to another country thinking, oh yeah, it's definitely going to work out, pinning all your hopes on it, and then it flops. You know, make sure that you've got a really good foundation for the relationship in the first place, or primarily that you move for you. And that if it doesn't work out, then you can move again because you're flexible, or because you want to move to that country for yourself, you know, not because some other person is there at the end of it, you know. But you know, if you are going to move, which you would want to move sometimes for someone that you really love or care about, then, you know, first you need to go out and travel and visit them and see if you two can get on. Because it's no good thinking you're going to get on, you know, as well in real life offline, as it were, in comparison to real life online. Do you know what I mean? It's two completely different environments. You know, this particular person doesn't really speak to me that much, so I can't see it really going anywhere other than friendship, and it's nice that he respects me and said that to me. I think it's really sweet. But you know, I mean, you know, I've met last year. I met asexuals that I'd never met before in my life, and 3 of them have become like my best friends. And obviously, I've also got like a 4th best friend who's watching this, Martin, as well. We met for the first time in person, but I've been like really good friends with him for like over 2 years before we met in person. So, you know, each year I'm changing what I'm doing, you know, and these people, you know, I went to the Asexuality conference, so I travelled, and that's how I met one of the people that I'm really good friends with now. And the person who, Martin, who's watching this, I met him for the first time in person. So I travelled, you see, and he travelled. So it requires you to make really huge efforts sometimes to go out of your way, to get out of your comfort zone and go and travel and meet these people, you know. But, you know, Skype them first, video chat with them first, get to know them offline, you know. Afterwards, you've got to know them online, unless it's at a meetup, you know. If I'm meeting a guy in a group, then it's fine. But if I'm meeting a guy on my own that I've never met before in my life in person, then I will always want to video chat with him first. So you've got to put your safety first, but you've got to get out of your comfort zone. Even if you're introverted, you've still got to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Did you know a lot of famous people are actually introverts, you know? It doesn't come naturally to them to do certain things, to go out and meet people and be sociable. But, you know, in order to change yourself, in order to develop and grow yourself in your life, rather than stay stagnant, which is quite boring, really, you know, you've got to get out there and push yourself through your fears and boundaries, you know? I mean, the people that came to my asexual meetup last year, you know, one of them I met at the conference. So that was getting out of my comfort zone because I'd never done public speaking like that before. And it was something I'd always pushed myself to do over the last couple of years. I'd always wanted to do in London, public speaking. It was ambition, but it's not something that comes, it's something that comes naturally to me as in terms of talking, but not something that comes naturally to me as in terms of a lot of people. In terms of like, you know, in terms of I get a little bit of anxiety. But I believe I'm born to speak on stage. So from that point of view, my belief that I'm born to speak on stage, I'm born to be a speaker, outweighs the pain of the anxiety that was leading up to it. But it wasn't that bad, the anxiety, because I was so happy I was speaking and about a topic I love. So that made the whole process much better, you know. Always in life, when the gain outweighs the pain, you'll do it. So when the gain outweighs the pain, so if the pain's higher than the gain, then you won't do it. But if the gain is higher than the pain, then you'll go forward and do that thing. So you have to, like, you know, if you really like someone, for example, in your country, but you're going to have to travel, hi Heather, nice to see you. You know, if you spend a lot of time, you build up that great emotional connection online or video chat, you're messaging each other, then you're going to have a strong will and desire to meet that person in person, aren't you? And then the gain of actually meeting up with them is going to push through your pain barrier of getting out of your comfort zone, doing something you're not used to, and it's quite scary for you. So that's what you need to be, you know, doing. Having said that, don't just do things for a person that's not really worth it. You know, you have to decide where they're worth it, and if you're worth, you know, if it's worth it to you, you know. So I met, you know, my 3 guys I met last year. One at the UK Asexuality conference required me to travel to meet him. And then obviously I've got Martin on here that we both travelled to meet each other. That was really nice. And then there's 2 other guys, one of which is my very best friend, and the other guy I'm really close to, Andy, comes and watches this show quite a lot. So those 2 guys came to my asexual meetup in my city. So they travelled to meet me, you know, and Andy's come on leaps and bounds since he's been to my meetup. So's Sam, you know, they've got like much more confident. They go to other meetups now, you know, and they really do a lot more to get themselves out their comfort zone, because, you know, what you need to do is, in order to get confident, you have to push yourself through your fears and your anxieties and worries to gain that confidence, to become more competent. So, You know, so it's like a cycle, you know. You have to do something you've never done before to get good at it, to become more confident, to push forward with your life. You know, I have to do things this year that I've never done in my life before. I've read about it, I've learned the theory about it, especially over the last last month and this month, you know, but I've not actually put it into practice yet. And like, I'm doing stuff now that is like really, some of it's a bit boring, I'll admit, some of it's a bit tedious, but it's like I have to do it. So I'm telling myself every day, you've got to do this, Sandra. Come on, you know, be your own coach, be your own advisor, be your own person, be your own cheerleader that cheers yourself on. Say, come on, you can do this. Come on, just do it, just do it, just do it. And this is how I had to be to myself today. If you knew the work I'm doing at the moment, it's nice in the sense of some of the time I do it because I'm doing some design work, but it's like very repetitive and multiple of it, you know. And it's not asexual stuff. It's to do with inspirational quotes for entrepreneurs, if you want to know. But it's like if I have one quote, I've got to do it 4 times for 4 different platforms, and it's like, you know, I've got to adjust it slightly, and it just takes ages to do it. It's like, and I've done a lot of quotes, believe me, a lot of quotes. So I've got like literally over 1,000 in the end, you know, like more like going to 1,300 plus. But yeah, and I haven't done it all today. I've had to break it down into small chunks. And that's what I would say, you know, if you're not used to getting out of your comfort zone, but you know, you need to, you know, that take things step by step, you know, find an asexual person in your country that maybe is closer to you than a lot of people would be. You know, like maybe it's a 3-hour trip rather than a 5-hour trip on a train or something, and then, you know, become friends with them, really good friends with them, talk to them online, Skype with them, you know, and then, you know, you can arrange to meet up, and instead of you traveling maybe 3 hours to them or vice versa, you can meet in the middle somewhere at a mutual point that takes you 1.5 hours each. That way you're both getting out of your comfort zone and you're both meeting up somewhere different, you know. However, you know, if you feel more comfortable in your own territory, you can invite them to where you live, you know, in your city or your town, not actually to your home. Don't go doing that when you don't know them offline, you know, that's not a good idea. Meet them in public place, well lit, and, you know, make sure there's people around you. But I mean, going to an asexual meetup is brilliant, and people go like, well, there's no meetups near me. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? You're going to sit there saying there's no meetups near me, or you're actually going to travel to a meetup? There's this guy on asexuality.com, right? We've been friends on there for quite some time. He was interested a long time ago in a relationship with me, in the sense that he fancied me, but he could have never had a relationship with me anyway because he would never travel. And at the moment, he's in his city and he just won't travel, you know. And he likes guys and women, but he prefers women. And there's a guy that he gets on with, but I think they do travel a little bit to see each other. But a woman's what he really wants, but he won't travel out of his city to go and get one, you know. He just wants to stay where he is. So if he stays where he is, he's just going to keep having the same problem over and over again. And I keep telling him, well, you're going to have to travel then, aren't you? But it's just the same thing, you know. Either he doesn't respond or it's the same thing. And then a few months later, he'll come back and say, well, I met this woman, she's sexual, I hope she can love me without the sex. And then, you know, then she friend zone him or decides she doesn't want to see him anymore because, you know, sex is important to sexuals. So, but, you know, he keeps getting the repetitive. I mean, I don't forget, I do feel for him, you know. I do understand where he's coming from because I care, I've got a heart. But at the end of the day, when someone keeps going round and round in circles with the same problem for the last couple of years, you know, it's like, well, it's obvious you have to travel. I've told you, and you won't travel. So then you'll keep getting the same results, won't you? Do you see what I'm saying? You know, you can't make a ladybug out of a piece of rope. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. So you have to change what you're doing in your life. You have to get out of your comfort zone, you know? I mean, Skype dating. Some people have never Skype dated before. They're like, what on earth's that? So when you're Skyping your friends, right, the intention's different. So the difference between a Skype date and Skyping a friend, as opposed to dating a friend, sorry. So the difference between Skype dating and actually just speaking to a friend on Skype is the intention, right? So with Skype dating, you're both interested in a possible relationship with each other. and you're basically talking to each other to find out what your needs, wants, likes and dislikes are in a relationship, to see if you're compatible. That doesn't mean to say that you're not going to be compatible to stay as friends even after you've Skyped, dated. It doesn't mean to say that this person couldn't be a friend of yours that you want to take the relationship to a different level with, because obviously the best foundation for a relationship is friendship. So there might be someone who you're really close friends with who you want to take it to another level. And obviously you have to like kind of maintain the friendship while seeing if the other person's interested in taking it any further. And the way you do that is to ask them how they feel about you. As in, you know, like, have you thought about dating me before? Or are you happy just to be friends? Stay friends, you know, you can ask them. Therefore, you haven't given any of your feelings away and you haven't lost them as your friend. You've just asked them how they feel, you know, and it doesn't matter either way. Let them know it doesn't matter what they say. You're still going to be friends with them. It's fine. And you've got to be prepared to be rejected sometimes as well, you know. So, you know, you might be looking for a friend or a partner, and you might, you know, you might have to travel, like I said, to see them. But just because you travel to see them doesn't mean to say it's going to work out. Like, I've got an asexual friend on Facebook still. We've been friends for years on Facebook. But I met him. He was the first asexual I ever met in person. And we went somewhere in London together. But we've never actually met up since, because although we didn't say it was a date, because it technically wasn't, you know, we were both talking about relationships, and it was clear that I was not his type of person for a relationship. And to be honest, I think I'm too outspoken to be his friend, like a close friend or anything. So he just has me on Facebook, you know, still. He's a nice guy, I'm a nice person, you know, we're both good people. But what I'm saying is, just because you go and spend some time with someone doesn't necessarily mean to say guarantee that they're going to be like a best or close friend to you. Sometimes you may just do that once, like I did with that guy, and it was all great and good at the time. But, you know, it didn't work out any further than that, to see each other more often or to spend time seeing each other at all, you know, in person. So sometimes things like this happen, you know, you've got to get used to the fact that you can be rejected, or the fact that, you know, the relationship might not go where you want it to go. The friendship might not, excuse me, go where you want it to go. But the main point is, you know, if you're feeling stuck and you're feeling like you're doomed because there's no one in your city, country or living near you, then you have to take ownership of that problem. And you have to make the move, either travelling to them or approaching someone else to travel to you, or, you know, making more of an effort to speak to them. You know, like, if you really like someone, you've got to tell them. Like, I admired the fact that this guy actually told me that he thought I was gorgeous, even though technically he's only a friend. I still thought it was really nice of him. I mean, he did say that he might, you know, be coming over to Scotland or Ireland, so obviously he'd actually be nearer me. But he'd have to travel miles. I mean, I don't even live in Ireland. I live in England. Do you know what I mean? I don't live in Scotland either. I live in England. But that's you know, that's neither here nor there. It's just, I said, if you want to meet up with me, then you'd have to travel a lot further than that. You know what I mean? That's on him. That's not on me. But I haven't said anything apart from that, you know. So it's up to him what he does with his life. But you know what I'm saying? You have to take risks. You have to put yourself out there. You have to get out of your comfort zone. If nothing's changed in your life, you have to change yourself. I know you don't want to hear that. People hate change. But the thing I found out in life is, if you make change happen for you rather than it happening to you, it's a lot more empowering. You know, if you take control of your life, you know, like, it's like when, you know, when the new year comes. One of my friends, for example, recently, he decided to get rid of a load of his personal possessions. Just he wanted the clean start for the new year. So he got rid of, an asexual friend actually, got rid of tons of his personal stuff that he'd had for years, because he just wanted a clean start. He wanted a better quality of life for himself. He wanted to put the past behind him, and this was one way he could do it. A major way. So that's what he did. He took time to get rid of things, but he wanted it all gone. So he just gave away loads of his stuff to people. You know, he just did that within a few days before the new year. And sometimes that's what you have to do. You just have to decide to change yourself. You know, I know this year I have to change myself. I've got no choice. Well, my choice, I've got no choice for me, because my choice is I change or I don't, and I stay doing the same thing I've always done and keep getting stuck. Do you know what I mean? And this mostly, the majority of what I'm talking about at the moment is career and finances, you know. So I have to change what I'm doing. In terms of business, I kind of have to keep doing what I'm doing and do more of other stuff, you know, and veer away from certain things that I've been hugely focusing on to allow other streams of income and other business opportunities to come my way. You know, I can't do, there's only one of me, and I have to put energy and effort into whatever. And what I would say to you as well in your life is it's hard to change multiple things at once. It's better to like focus on one thing. So if you like find in 2018 you didn't have any asexual friends, no one lives near you, you know, and maybe you're quite stable in your job at the moment, your family's okay, you know, but one thing you really want to focus on is relationships, whether that's relationship as in a romantic sense or just friends. Then you have to decide, yes, this year I'm going to focus on that, and that requires you to change yourself, you know, unless you either have to change you or your circumstances. Unless something new comes into your life, nothing new and different is going to happen. So for me this year, I have to focus heavily on business, finances, career, all that type of thing. And, you know, that is my main focus for this year, you know, is to get all that sorted. And I have to become a more productive person. I have to try and push my brain to do work that I don't necessarily want to do sometimes, because some of it's a bit tedious, but it's necessary that I do it in order to get where I need to go in my life. I have to try doing Facebook ads that I've never done in my life before, you know? And so whatever area of your life it is, you have to push through it. And, you know, if it's relationships and friendships, then you're going to have to do something different this year. Because if you're stuck and you're feeling like, oh, I haven't got any friends around me, I've got no one I can hang out with, you know, people don't understand me, you're going to have to change it. And what are you going to do to change it, you know? Are you going to approach more people online? Are you going to start talking to more people? Are you going to start, you know, trying to be friends with more people online? Are you going to go to asexual meetups? Are you going to decide, well, I'm going to get out, I'm going to travel an hour, 2 hours and go to an asexual meetup? Yes, it might be it might be a bit annoying. Yes, it might be a bit upsetting. Yes, it might be a bit scary, but I'm just going to be in control. I'm going to choose to do this. I'm going to travel. This is the times I'm going to travel. This is what I'm going to do. This is precautions I'm going to take, you know, and you go and do it. Because you need to, for your sake. You need to develop and grow yourself, you know. And like I said, change is much better if you make it happen than it happened to you. When change happens to you, you just feel totally out of control. And change will happen. It's inevitable. You can't stop change from happening. So if it's happening to you, it's like this, boom, 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 boom. And it's kind of like it's firing off you all the time. And it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm being attacked. Whereas if you make change happen to you, it's like you're striding, you know, it's like you're a train and you start going faster and faster down the track. You know, yes, you could go down different tracks, you don't know where the path's going to lead, but you are the train, you are the one in control, you are the controller, if you know what I mean, of your life and your destiny. You know, and some people go, oh, well, something, you know, like, whatever's just going to happen. Things don't just happen. You have to make them happen in your life. You have to take action, and it's not always easy. Believe me, I know from personal experience it's not always easy. It really isn't, but you have to do it, you know? Otherwise, you will never, ever grow into a better person, a better version of you. And what you need to do is become a better version of you for yourself more than anything, you know? But if you want a relationship or friendship, or you want to, you know, take that sort of situation to the next level, then you've got to do something about it. Don't sit there complaining. Go and do something, you know? I mean, complaining, you can complain till the cows come home. It's not going to change your situation. It's just going to waste your energy. So go and do something productive. Get out there. You know, even though I'm focusing on my finances the most and my career and business, I am still, you know, in between those times. I'm still talking, you know, approaching guys on ASAP. You know, I'm still going occasionally through asexuality.com. I'm still like, you know, being proactive in that sense. I'm not like given up. And, you know, I will be having more asexual meetups this year as well. It's just that the most important thing to me is like get my finances sorted out so I can travel more. So that if I do get a guy, for example, I find a guy I like it who's asexual in London, then I have the finances to go and see him, which I don't have at the moment. So I'm kind of preparing. I'm kind of changing myself to prepare for what I need to do. Obviously, if money's an issue for you, then that's something you'll need to address as well to travel. If you're looking for a relationship and friendship and there's no one near you, if money's not an issue, or you know, look at different destinations in your country and find out where is actually comfortable for you to go money wise and actually, you know, travel to, you know, like if there's a city that's like, I don't know, 2 hours away, you know, how much are the tickets, like 2 weeks before, a month before, or like a few days before, you know, go and find out how much buses are, you know, go and find out all the different methods of transport, if you like plane, etc. I mean, my city's actually got its own airport. I don't fly in a plane, but, you know, sometimes it can be cheaper to fly in a plane. But, you know, go and look at all your options and explore them, you know. I mean, you know, even though I'm not focusing on relationships strongly this year, I'm focused, as in romantic relationships, I'm still focusing heavily on keeping the friends I've got. And, you know, I want to see more asexual friends as well, you know. There's another guy that lives not far from my city. It's about 1.5 hours on the bus for him, and he said that, you know, he wants to you know, like talk to me a bit more, like be a bit more attentive as a friend to me. And, you know, we talked about meeting up before, so I've only met him once at a small meet up, so, you know, it might be nice to do some more stuff with him. He's quite young, but he's into more guys. He's British though, not foreign, but he looks really nice looking actually. He seems like a really sweet guy. But yeah, he's more into, he's bi-romantic, but he's more into, that means likes guys and girls, but he's more into guys than girls. So again, I don't really fit the bill. Most of my guys prefer guy friends prefer guys. It's so funny. Really is, you know. I'm not changing into a guy. I like being a female, even though I've got some guy traits. I want to stay a female. Yeah, I love it. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment below, please leave a comment below telling me what you're going to do. Are you going to commit this year to actually making change happen for you? I would love to hear in the comments below what are you going to do to get out of your comfort zone. Remember, if you write something down in the comments, you're more likely to do it because you've publicly announced it. Thank you, Martin. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for coming. You know, so if you want to make a commitment to yourself about getting out of your comfort zone, what you're going to do, if you write it down in the comments below, you are more likely to do it because you've shared it publicly with the world rather than keeping it to yourself. Thank you, Heather, as well. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Martin. Thank you for the other person that's watching as well. I really appreciate it. And like I said, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to leave your comments. I'd love to hear your feedback on this video. Tell me how you're getting out of your comfort zone, what you're going to do this year to change your life around, whether it be relationships, friendships, or something else. I'd love to hear that. And until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. Don't forget, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I see I've already got a couple of thumbs up. Thank you so much for that. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon to get notified every time I go live like now or post a new video. And please, please, please share these videos with your friends or anyone you think may benefit, so we can get asexuality recognised as a sexual orientation throughout the globe, so that no asexual has to live in fear of ridicule ever again. That is what I want for all of us. By sharing these videos, you know, they get up higher in search engine rankings, which means they actually have more visibility on YouTube and more people can learn about asexuality. Until next time, I will see you soon. Take care.